Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. Place is buzzy today. We got some energy going. That's wonderful. We're so glad you brought that energy into our space this morning. And we're very glad to have the energy of those of you joining online as well. This is the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. We come here to remember the truth of who and whose we are. To remember our connection to that divine spark that we carry with us all the time that may get a little weighted down by frustrations or concerns or worries or what am I going to eat for lunch, anything. You forget. We forget. Parking. The parking woes this morning. I'm Kathleen Frankert. I'm one of your licensed spiritual practitioners here. And it's my honor to greet you this morning with Namaste. Thank you. Namaste is the Sanskrit greeting, means the divinity in me recognizes and greets the divinity in you. Yes, there were some parking woes today. They fixed one area and then they messed up another's, you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. But after the service from 12 to 3 is the Taste of the Bay going on. And it's free admission, and there's music and food from a variety of amazing, wonderful, locally owned, independent restaurateurs, both here in Sarasota and in from a few from Bradenton, Manatee area. So if you're thinking about food for later, that would be a great place to stop by. You buy tickets and then you go around and you just visit the various vendors and enjoy a wonderful afternoon. So that's what's going on here at the Sarasota Garden Center. Today's service is going to be led, our lesson is going to be led by Reverend Theresa Fieberts, our founding minister and spiritual director. We're so glad to have her with us today, of course. And her topic today is co-commitment and conscious loving. And it's a further exploration of the theme that we've been looking at all month, which is glowing up. Kind of a play on words with growing up, right? The idea of bringing our glow, bringing that energy, bringing that life force into greater awareness for ourselves, and then sharing that out into the world, creating that ripple of elevation and illumination to the world. So we look forward to hearing her talk this morning, as always. We have our house band with us. Yay! That's Reverend Emil, Phil, and Frankie. And you heard a little bit, if you were lucky enough to find a parking space early and got here a little early, you heard them warming up, and we look forward to hearing them again today. We haven't had them all together for a while, so that's really cool. So that is the business of the morning. Let's now just take a moment to settle in, to allow ourselves to fully arrive here. Closing our outer eyes if that's comfortable for you, and bringing us into a greater self-awareness, a greater connection, a deepening recognition that something wonderful is happening right here, right now. We don't have to wait for it. It's happening right now. It's the movement of life force, life energy, that divine spark in, through, and as each one hearing these words, each for myself and each one hearing these words, whether here in person or joining us virtually, that life force, that life energy. Some call it God, nature, the universe, infinite intelligence, the divine, whatever, by whatever name, we know we are one with it. And that right here, right now, we can claim an even greater stake to that good, that eternal good that always says yes to our most fundamental, deep desires for love, for joy, for peace, for harmony, for abundance of any and every kind, for our health and our sustenance. Today we give thanks for that. We give thanks for the awareness that we fast on the negative and feast on the affirmative. We are filling our cup with this good. And I give thanks that this music, this message, this time in community is all additive to that experience, to that knowing, to that unfoldment now for each one. I claim this good now. I give thanks that it is already unfolding divinely and perfectly. I know this to be so, and together we say, and so it is. Welcome, Joyful Noise.
Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin wrote a song years ago that seems timeless, and it particularly applies today. A lot of their music just applies to us today. You've heard some other ones that we've done. This one is in the middle of chaos, in the middle of feeling like things are just, that we've lost a lot of what we had, or that we don't know where we're going. Shine on. Just continue to steady on and keep pursuing and shine on. And so we're going to invite you to sing, once you hear the chorus, it's pretty simple, and we're going to ask you guys to come on and sing with us as we sing Shine On. Course of human kindness, it becomes clear the time has come to willingly set aside our blindness, see the world as one. Nobody here has yet forgotten all of the joys we've ever known. And following what we feel, finding our way home. Shine on, shine on, steady on, steady on. We the people come together, bringing the best of who we are. All remember tough and tender, leading with our hearts. The future is looking back with love, encouraging every step we take, guiding us through the darkest times, blessing us on our way. Shine on, steady on, steady on, shine on, shine on, steady on, steady on. Protecting what is gentle, protecting what is kind, connecting what is living with every woman, man, and child. A joyful revelation, hope comes shining through, silver singing river, and the rising of the moon. Shine on, shine on, steady on, steady on. Where are the ones we've lost forever, leaving a longing in our souls? Gathering all the love together, we're setting our sights for home. Every road we've ever traveled, all of the wonders near and far, all of these gifts come round again, bringing us where we are. Shine on, shine on, steady on, steady on, shine on, shine on, steady on, steady on, come on, shine on, shine on, steady on, steady on, shine on, shine on, steady on, steady on.
And that's joyful noise. Let's hear it again. Woo! We are so blessed. We are just so blessed. Can you hear me all? Hi. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Angelica Redleaf, and I am a member of our Board of Trustees. And I'm a student in year 2 of practitioner training. I know. And I was coming up with some words for this experience of practitioner training, and what came to me was, it's profoundly awesome, or is it awesomely profound? I think it's both, really, you know. And we get to have Reverend Theresa as our teacher. Can you, I mean... Okay, so in our class, we have assignments, we have homework, and we were to write a paper recently. Now, you remember, a few weeks ago, Theresa spoke about the 4 stages or states of consciousness. To me, by me, through me, as me. Thank you, thank you. And we were to write a paper. That was our assignment this couple of weeks ago. We were to write a paper about what the world would be like if a lot of people were in unity consciousness. What would it be like? I think pretty awesome. Actually, so I didn't know quite what to write, and I was swimming in the pool in my community, and it all came to me how I wanted to write this. And I'm going to read it to you. The title is Enough for All. Mitena woke up feeling very happy after a delicious and wonderful sleep. She felt great love and gratitude for the great Creator, Unet Lanvi, as she always does. Mitena is the member of a Cherokee tribe, and as with all women, men, and children, they continue to live their lives according to their long-held beliefs. They believe in respect for all, reciprocity, and living in alignment with Unet Lanvi, who created everything and everyone. A major belief that they have is that all can only be happy when everyone has enough. Mitena walked outside her log cabin, which she shared with her husband and children, and said good morning to her neighbors. She knew all of them and, of course, had great love for everyone. They were all talking excitedly in a group, so she went over to the gathering of neighbors. What she heard was astonishing. Her neighbors spoke of great changes happening all over the world right now. Changes that the Cherokee had prayed for what seemed like forever. She knew that similar prayers and ceremonies had also been happening in all the native peoples' lands. And she had heard of other peoples throughout the world who had been praying and chanting for the earth and its people. Groups of neighbors hopped onto pickup trucks and drove into town to hear more about these changes. Could it be true? In the town lived many white folk who were often not friendly to the natives. But today was very different. Everyone was friendly. They saw many townspeople behaving strangely. At first, nobody understood what was happening. Mitena focused carefully on this behavior. All of a sudden, she knew what was happening. The townspeople were distributing all sorts of their individual belongings to people who needed it. On their faces, she saw great joy, joy she had never seen before. She spoke to all her neighbors and explained what she observed. Everyone felt a bit of shock. How could this have happened? The Cherokee were very happy and confused. Then the news media began reporting on incredible changes taking place around the world. Some reporters brought up the possibility perhaps there was a sudden shift to unity consciousness. A few knew of this wonderful stage of consciousness and could only think maybe that's the answer. And here's why they thought this. In every country around the world, government representatives were convening and crying at what they had done in the past and what they had not done. They immediately enacted laws that would bring safety and equality to all and better health care for all. Also, they focused on caring for the environment, wanting and respecting more diversity. And politicians who had previously mostly cared about power and themselves rather than their constituents now were speaking in ways that were unthinkable just a few days ago. Reporters around the world showed footage of people hugging and helping one another, sharing what they had. The media, which previously focused on the negative, was now in rapture at the positive and seeming miraculous changes taking place. Clearly, many loved what they themselves were seeing and wanted to share it with the world. They spoke of a new world order, with countries working together to make the planet whole and all inhabitants as healthy and happy as possible. Mitena and her neighbors celebrated when they arrived home, and all went to bed that night thankful that Unet Lanvi heard the world's calling for a world that works for everyone. And together, the great creator and many around the planet co-created this great awakening. Thank you.
Beloveds, welcome. You have found yourself at Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. Wow, Angelica, I saw God in that. Did you see God anywhere else today? Spirit, what do you call it, right? Whatever it is. Did you see it yet? I know you're praying for me right now, right? You're praying for me, right? I saw God today, and yesterday, and the day before. I see God right now. I see God when I look in the mirror now. That's what I learned in class. In the good, in the cuss words, in the praise words, in the love words, in the moments of doubt. That's God drawing the essence of you to the surface of this thing we call life. I saw God today. A song that came from practitioner class. I saw God today. I am as Yahweh, and I broke bread with Yeshua, sang peace as Shanti, and I sat with Buddha neath the Bodhi tree. I am Allah's face of charity. God is everywhere I see.
I see God as bees and trees, butterflies and worms and seeds, in Mama Bird feeding her own, as my squirrel friend making his home. Hey, walk by the ocean shore, what a portal to another world. God is everywhere I walk. God is seeing you through the eyes of me. God is seeing me through the eyes of you. In the mirror, looking back at me, in each line of the songs I sing, right there in every story, in yesteryear where I stand. God is everywhere I am. God is seeing you through the eyes of me. God is seeing me through the eyes of you. God is seeing you through the eyes of me. God is seeing me through the eyes of you. I saw God today. Thank you, beloved. I love you.
Pretty awesome, huh? Pretty awesome. We have some stellar students. Yeah? Yeah. A little echo, a little buzz going on here. So I kind of thought today, as my final talk on this subject, we've been on it all month, this idea of glowing up, and Kathleen did a beautiful job of telling us what that is and setting us in that space for glow up. But then I realized that there's no, just like there's no beginning and no end to spirit, there is no end to this conversation even. There's no end. How could there be an end to a conversation that's about glowing up? How could there be an end to a conversation about your own personal growth and evolution of the planet? How could there be an end? There's not. There's not. So silly me. What this is exactly an invitation. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's not an ending. It's an invitation to commit to this conscious loving, conscious commitment to this thing called life. Yeah? That's what it is. That's what it is. I'm kind of feeling like there's going to be an altar call at the end of the service. That commitment word. We'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. So glowing up it's about improvement. It's about positive transformation. Oftentimes you see it in appearance. What that word is meaning. You would see it in appearance, but it's an inner confidence that people have. And I've often said there's nothing sexier than confidence. You know what I mean? Not that, swaggers are pretty cool too. But not the ego thing, but the thing that's, I know who I am. I know what this world is. I know I'm moving in it in a way that has purpose and meaning. That's pretty cool, isn't it? That is pretty cool. It's very attractive, that quality. And so it includes a motivation then. People that are glowing up, there's a motivation to improve. There's a motivation to understand and heighten awareness and all of that. It's like to up your game. There's a motivation to up your game. And I was thinking about it when I was thinking about what I was going to talk about today, and I thought, it's kind of like a high vibe, which is also a fairly new terminology, high vibe, glow up. And so I saw some similarities there that's about living in a higher consciousness, high vibe, living in a higher consciousness, a positive energy, just like glow up, positive energy. It includes focus and motivation, right? Because it's intentional for us to do that. It's intentional conscious awareness. Intentional conscious awareness. I mean, for most of us, it doesn't just happen. It happened for Eckhart Tolle, sleeping on the park bench. But for most of us, it doesn't just happen. It didn't just happen to me. I don't know about you, evolved souls that are sitting here in the room with me, and those of you tuning in, it required something of us. Ernest Holmes, the architect of this philosophy, believed that humanity is always evolving to higher states of consciousness, that there's a natural evolutionary pull, that we're naturally evolving. You can look at our history, most of us are not in the caves with clubs in our hands anymore, right? We are evolving. And at this stage of our evolution, and he told us that, it requires our input, our effort, our participation at this point, right? Our conscious participation, yeah. So he tells us that consistent use of an awareness of spiritual principle and of the practices that we teach is how we expand our consciousness. It's how we accelerate this process, right? It's how we accelerate the process. And that has been my experience, when I'm working it. In fact, as teachers, so you've just heard from two of the students in prep class, as a teacher, we say the same thing, like life is better when I'm teaching a class. It's when I immerse myself in it on a day-by-day basis. Yeah. So the idea for New Thought or for Science of Mind is that we individualize the potential of the infinite. We individualize that because the infinite is infinite, right? The one source of life is completely open at the top. It has no boundaries. It has no borders. And so as we evolve, as we grow, we are, in fact, individualizing that in our own selves, in our own lives. That's a pretty tall order, and it's a pretty cool thing, don't you think? And I love that we get to come together and witness each other doing exactly that. You know, we vision for Spirit's highest vision, highest possibilities for this community. That's what we're doing, right? We're taking the individual potential of the infinite growth and putting it together as a collective unit. It's pretty awesome, I must say. It's pretty awesome. So this teaching invites us then to have a disciplined approach to our spirituality. Yeah? It invites us to be disciplined about our emotions that prompt our thinking, our belief system, and our behaviors, to be aware and awake to all of that. And Ernest Holmes uses the word daily in his writings, probably more than any other word. I don't know. I'm going to look up. How many times did that man write daily? Because he was constantly telling us that we have to pay attention to this. We have to be engaged consistently, because we are impressing our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings, our emotions into law, into that infinite mind, onto the universe, whether we realize it or not. So I know everybody in here and everybody listening at home is awake to that idea, aren't we? Yeah? Are we awake to it all the time? Yes. We are? Well, hallelujah, sister. Yes. Yes. Yeah, because if we're not, we're you know, our subjective unconscious garbage is driving us. The collective soup is driving us. So, amen. Yeah, I love that. I love it. I love it. That is the combination then. Here's the punchline for today. That's it. That is taking that glowing up and the high vibe and putting it together. That is, I think, what this teaching is. Remember last week my title was Of All the People, and I was using that quote of Ernest Holmes, and he says, of all the people, we are the people, and we should be engaged in every activity of life, because we're the people with big ideas. Big ideas. Big ideas. Love that. I love that. So when we're living from those big ideas, we're radiant. We're radiant, Deborah. Radiant when we're living from that place. And that radiance is a radiance of love. It is a radiance of conscious love. It is a radiance of connectivity to the allness. It's a radiance of knowing goodness, even when you don't see it, especially when you don't see it. You weren't going to take my, oh no, because we're down here, were you? No, because we're just up here. So we then become the channel for that activity. We become the conduit for that highest good to come into form. It's awesome. Scientifically, what we know is that energy is vibrating at different rates of frequency everywhere in physical objects. Things we see has a vibration. Your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings have a vibrational frequency. Yeah? And so spiritually, then we take that knowledge and we know that you and I and this community has a vibe, right? We have a vibe. Don't you think we have a vibe? I think we have a vibe. Yeah, we have a vibe. And Ernest Holmes talked about how organizations, families, even nations have a consciousness, have a vibe, have a consciousness for that group or that collective. Yeah. So I want you to individually ask yourself right now in your mind, what are the qualities, the thoughts, the emotions, the behaviors that you bring? As we said, high vibe people radiate positive energy, peace, love, joy. And it's not the, well, I like to be helpful and I'm sweet and kind. Well, I'm going to take that word out. And it could be that. But it's really a deeper realization that I'm operating from an infinite source. It's a deeper commitment and communion to that greater idea, to that big idea that we say we have. And it's a resonance with that. And then it filters into every aspect of life. Filters into every aspect of life. So we start with that place of awareness when we're learning and growing. We start with that place. And if you weren't here 2 weeks ago, you may want to look at the video because it does talk about the stages, as Angelica said. But to have a sense of curiosity about ourselves, is really a great place to start. And then we move into a curiosity about life itself, the things that we're seeing and hearing and witnessing, to have a sense of curiosity about that. And I think that this teaching is really designed to help us do that, that we really give tools for that. And so I am going to go into commercial, a little infomercial right here, right now, that if you so feel called to know this truth deeper, join, become a member. We don't ask you to give us anything as a member. We give you, it's a really cool concept. We give you 20% off on your classes, which is a huge amount of money when you've gone to as many classes as Diana and Angelica have. Right? It's a lot. It's significant. 20%. Yeah. Okay. Yay! I didn't pay her for that, but good job. Good job. So we never stop learning. And I'm going to use the should. Thy shouldn't should on thyself. But you know what? We shouldn't stop learning. Don't stop learning. Don't stop learning. So I was in class yesterday with a couple of my fellow practitioners because we don't stop learning, right? And it was beautiful and brilliant. And my growth is not linear, nor is yours. Just like I said 2 Sundays ago and probably last Sunday too. See it more as a spiral kind of thing because I fell from grace last week. Do you know what that is? I fell from grace last week. And there was just an opportunity to remind myself then of what I believe, of who I am, how I want to show up, to remember the mantra that I gave myself a long time ago, affirmation, whatever you want to call it, long time ago, that I am a safe space. Right? The little card sits on my desk. Unfortunately, I don't carry it around with me everywhere. But I'm a safe space. That's my affirmation. I'm a safe space. I'm open. I'm accepting. I'm loving and I'm kind. I am the hands and feet, heart and mind of God. I'm that channel for God. Right? Sometimes we forget. So we're always reprogramming ourselves, recalibrating, doing a little shift here, a little shift there. And that's all part of this glow up. That's all part of having a high vibe, is that we can recognize and we can reprogram. Because sometimes those unconscious thoughts invade and literally become grooves in your mind. Yes? Literally do. So if you want to be groovy, more groovy, you got to have more grooves. Let's just say it that way. I mean, you gotta use some effort to create a new pattern. And that's part of this grow up. And we do it all the time. So we might be at this level, but we want to be at this level. So we got to have a new groove, right? We got to have a new idea, a new belief, a new cause to what we are creating. And that's how life happens. That's it in a nutshell. That's how life happens for us individually. It's how it happens for me. It's how it happens for the world. That's how life happens. So I want to share with you, oh my God, I'm going to have to say this really quickly, but I know I did start 5 minutes late, so I'm going to give myself a little grace. I want to talk really quickly about David Hawkins' stages of consciousness, because they're right in line with what we're talking about. Last week I used some other stages, so I've thrown a lot of this human development kind of stuff at you, but that's like my bag. I love that stuff. So the scale of consciousness is just another kind of framework, but it's a framework that combines this idea of human behavior, our thoughts, our emotions, with vibration, with energy. Yeah? Yeah, and frequency. So he talks about the levels of our frequency, and they correlate to different stages of consciousness. So they go from 0 to 1,000. 0 to 1,000. Who can go from 0 to 1,000 in a heartbeat? Anybody in this room? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What the heck? Yeah. So some of you have seen it happen. I'm not lying. So 1 to 1,000. So the main categories are obvious. It's lower, mid, and high frequencies, right? So his low range is under 200. That's where fear lives. That's where anger hides out, shame, guilt, all those kind of ickier, heavier feelings that we get, right? All of that hangs out there. And in that place, we see behaviors of self-harm, violence, addictions, those kinds of things. That's what we see there. In the mid-range, 200 to 500, positive emotions, thoughts, love, peace, joy, all that cool stuff, right? Behaviors now like kindness and creativity. Some of you are probably vibing with that. You're like, oh yeah, I know that. I know that. I know that. And then the high range, above 500, transcendence. We start transcending the objective things in life. Yeah? So that's where the unity consciousness lies, Angelica. That class assignment was so awesome, and they all took a little different view of it. Angelica's was very unique by using a Native American woman's experience of it. But it was awesome, wasn't it? It was awesome. Somebody took our jobs change. And he had all the jobs that would become something else. It was so interesting, They were really wonderful. I'm going to skip through some of this. But the main thing that he's talking about here, how these relate to our 4 stages as we teach them, is that you can see in these low, mid, and high ranges where victimhood would lie, that to me, right? You see where that lies. And then the by me, being the architect of your life, making it happen. So David Hawkins says that basically would be in reason and integrity. We're logical, we're staying in alignment. And then that through me as we teach it, with David's teaching, that becomes the paradigm of spirituality. That really is that place, when you hit that place, you don't go back. So that for us is the through me and the as me. The conscious use me and the just it's happening as me. Yeah? So he has this whole section where the power begins at our willingness. The power begins at our commitment. That's where the power begins for us. It's wonderful. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Altar call, what do you say? Are you committed to that? Yes. Are we committed to that? We're committed to it individually. We're committed to it collectively to see how that plays out in the world on a grand scale. Yeah, big ideas? All right, those are ours. Great. Thank you. I'm glad you're with me. So it is.
Yes. So we're all becoming, right? We never stop becoming. I mean, I've been doing this for 4 years. I'm becoming every minute. And Theresa's been doing this for 33 years, and she's becoming every minute. And however many years you've been doing this, and well, guess what? You're still becoming every minute. And sometimes it gets a little exhausting. And sometimes it's like, woohoo. This song I wrote as a mere form of resistance. Not that kind of resistance. The kind of resistance that says, regardless of what the world says, and regardless of what I sometimes scream at myself inside my head, I am beautiful and complete. And so are you. And there's nothing you can do about it. The name of this song is Imperfect, Beautiful, and Complete. Did you hear the crash of doubt and fear? The audacity of me still standing here. My only path is to celebrate love and peace. Sometimes I fall short, but mostly I achieve. Imperfect, beautiful, and complete. Please be kind, I'm still unfolding me. Amazing grace is mine, 'cause I set me free. Imperfect, beautiful, and complete. I fall more times than most people even try. And it's spirit showing up as me each and every time. I got a challenge for you. Unlock those chains and set your own self free. And now you know you are the key. However imperfect, we are beautiful and complete. Imperfect, beautiful and complete. Imperfect, beautiful and complete. Please be kind, I'm still unfolding me. Amazing grace is mine, 'cause I set me free. Imperfect, beautiful, and complete. You are so perfect, you're beautiful, you are complete. Thank you.
One more time. Thank you, Diana. And thank you, Reverend Theresa. Thank you for that wonderful reminder about what this life journey is all about. And our ability and our opportunity to really participate in that full out. So today, right now, we've come to that point where we get to participate in the opportunity to give back, to participate in the flow, in the law of circulation, in the giving and receiving of life. We are always inhaling and exhaling. Life is always giving and we are always receiving. And that is what we get to participate in here. Right now, we get to give back to that aspect, that community that supports us, that helps us thrive, helps us grow, helps us remember why we're here, who we are, and what we can provide to the world. I want you to remember, too, that as you give, you're not just giving to this community, you're giving to a broader community. We are a tithing community. That means that we give of our resources out into the community to serve others. And that when you plant that seed of intention with your gift today, you are participating in that beautiful opportunity to help grow this community, but also help grow the greater Sarasota community in the world. So with all of that, I just invite you now to take your gift in your hand, if it's in your hand or if it's virtual because you give online or whatnot, or if you're joining us online and giving that way, just bring the awareness of that to your heart space. Bathe it in that love that emanates from that space in you with the intention that this gift goes forth to heal and to prosper and to grow in magnificent ways, to support this ministry, to support this teaching, to support the great vision of the Centers for Spiritual Living, which is a world that works for everyone. And as you do so, also be grateful and bring to mind what the gratitude for the ability to provide this gift and participate in this beautiful law of circulation. For all of this, I give great thanks. I know it to be done, and so it is. And now Joyful Noise will lead us in our offering affirmation.
I receive the gift of life, pass it on. I receive the gift of love, pass it on. Yeah, I receive the gift of joy, pass it on. I receive all good, pass it on. And I receive the gift of life, pass it on. I receive the gift of love, pass it on. Don't you know I receive the gift of joy, pass it on. Let's go. I receive all good, pass it on. One more time. I receive all joy, pass it on. I receive all good, pass it on.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been coming up at the beginning of our announcements this month to reinform you and remind you of the annual meeting, which is the second Sunday in November, which is November 9th. Okay? The first Sunday of the month is the second. So just so that's not confused. And Annie is going to be here next Sunday with her crystal bowls with Jay Martin. So you don't want to miss that. Then the following Sunday is going to be the annual meeting. And I just want to remind you, we're going to have information, will be in the newsletter starting next week, also about, more specifically about the stone soup, the potluck, which is you're going to bring a crock pot of soup, right? And you can bring bread if you want or dessert, but that'll be the menu, okay? Any kind of soup that is your jam. And we're also bringing gift cards or toys for children or toys for teens, new toys for teens or children, or gift cards. $25 amount is preferable for gift cards to big box kind of stores. And these are going to Harvest House. And the minister from Harvest House will be here speaking to us about that. That's on the 9th, same day. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip the agenda a little bit, and we're going to do the meeting during the service and have the party afterwards. Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to that. Now, as a member of our nominating committee, you know that we've been saying that there were 2 seats available on the board, and we were putting it out there for anybody that was interested. We had 6 people, which is like, hallelujah, tell us that they were interested in that. And I was telling you specifically, I wanted someone who would be the treasurer, who would help with finances, because we haven't had that on the board recently, that I need some help with that. So here's the slate that the board is putting forth. or the nominating committee. Serena Phillips, right there. You want to stand up, sweetie? You'll learn a little more about Serena, but I just want to tell you this one thing. The first day that Serena came in here, she doesn't know I'm going to tell this story. She came from Meetup. She found us on Meetup. And she came in here not knowing at all what she was going to find. And she said to me afterwards, well, I thought maybe it'd be yoga or something. Like, I didn't really know what it was going to be, but I didn't think it was going to be kind of like, kind of looking churchy, but I liked it. She joined, I think, the next week. I just, thank you. And then Jennifer Johnston, who is the current president of the board, can run for another term, and we would love for Jennifer to stay on. She's been a real gift to us. And so anyway, there's your slate. The other 5, we've hopefully spoken to those people, and we've got spots because they're really excited about still supporting this community. And so we're going to have, great things for them to do. And so you'll see and hear more about them on the annual meeting day. Okay, that's it. Lisa, that's it for me. Thanks for being here with us this morning.
Fabulous, Jackie. All right. Okay, so we got more fun stuff as usual. Okay. For any first-timers, newcomers, besides Dave? All right. There's a gift for you up here. And I think you've already met Reverend Theresa. Please stay afterwards and get to know us so we can get to know you. And the other thing is that newsletter. Sign up for our newsletter. As you guys know, we only send it out once a week. It's not, you don't get bombarded with a lot of things, but it's filled with everything. So the things that are coming up, oh, my notes. My notes. Okay, the things that are coming up are ongoing things is that we have a Wednesday night by Zoom, which is the Spiritual Living Circle with Jim Grover, Nicole Leeds. That's at 7 p.m., all by Zoom and everything. Every Friday, we have Reverend Diana's Mind Spirit Recovery meeting. That's hybrid, so either Zoom or in person. And now, a week from tomorrow is the first Monday, which is metaphysics and other neat stuff. And so we have that at Tollywood. The information is over there. This month's video that we're going to watch and then discuss is Jump Time is Now, Cultural Shifts and Spiritual Intelligence in the Century Ahead. So I think it's going to be fabulous. Last month's was fabulous. They're all good. And so anybody who thinks that maybe you're going to go do Bollywood dancing is back. So anybody who wants to go, talk to me after it. It's Wednesday at 6:30 right here at the Nest. So we'll be doing that. Everything is all at the tables. As you guys know, everything is at the tables. Join us afterwards for conversation and coffee, and so we can commune again. Kathleen is the practitioner of the day, so meet her over here at the screen and everything for if you need a little boost or help or somebody to hold space with you. She is wonderful with that. And I think that's it. And so now, joyful noise.
So glow up, right? The feeling that I got from this talk was so amazing because it's like, if we glow up, it's going to take some work to get there, but it is so refreshing and so divine and so fulfilling to slide down the mountain after we've been up. So this song, which I wrote years ago, never sung it here yet, but today just seems perfect after what Theresa shared. Just remember, it's not going to be easy. We got to climb up this mountain and get there. But when we get there, there is a river waiting for us to just ride the rapids down and just enjoy the rest of it and live it. Down the mountain, the river flows, brings refreshing wherever it goes. Through the valleys and over the fields, the river is rushing and river is here. The river of life brings joy to dancing. The river of life fills our hearts with cheer. The river of life fills our mouths with laughter, and we rejoice for the river is here. The river of life is churning and swirling. All who touch it will feel the magic. Those who linger on this river shore will come back thirsting for more and more. The river of life sets our feet to dancing. The river of life fills our hearts with cheer. The river of life fills our mouths with laughter. We rejoice for the river is here. Come, let us go up to the mountain in the sky, where the river is flowing, the river is high. We dance and sing all day and all night till we get our fill of the river of life. Step in the stream and soul starts flying, lifted on wings you were never supplied. Love is a current that carry you farther, past every sorrow and every scar. The river of life sets our feet to dancing. The river of life fills our hearts with cheer. The river of life fills our mouths with laughter. We rejoice for the river is here. So drink from the river that never runs dry, bathed in the light of a starlit sky. The river keeps flowing from the top of the mountain, a tide of healing, a flood of love. The river of life sets our feet to dancing. The river of life fills our hearts with cheer. The river of life fills our mouths with laughter. We rejoice for the river is here. We rejoice for the river is here. Namaste.